Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to the final Wheel of Shakespeare Challenge for the month of August. We've got 8 players with us here today, and we're really glad that we have Alex back. He had not been feeling well. Actually, he said it was. I misspoke before when I said it was. He'd lost his voice. Apparently, he was having trouble with his eyes and couldn't see the scripts very well. So that obviously affected his ability to participate in our readings, and but we're really glad that he's getting better and that he's back. He's always a lot of fun. He adds a lot to our weekly live streams, and we're glad to have him back. So that said, we will go ahead and our first monologue for today will be done by Maggie. Maggie is up first, and oops, sorry, I opened the wrong. Get the wheel open. Screen. There we go. Oops. I didn't mean to spin that. But Maggie is up, and I meant to have you on before I hit that by. Okay, so Friar Laurence, Holy Saint Francis, is when Romeo tells him he's in love with Juliet, and he responds, what about Rosaline? So, Act 2, Scene 3, the scene that is written entirely in rhyming couplets.
Okay, hang on just a second. I'm getting there. Act 2, Scene 3, correct?
Yes, Act 2, Scene 3, Romeo and Juliet. So Friar.
Yes, and it's Laurence starts with what again? I'm sorry.
Holy Saint Francis.
Oh, yeah, it's a little short thing. Okay.
Yeah, it's a short one. Okay, so whenever you're ready, go ahead.
All right. Holy Saint Francis, what a change is here! Is Rosaline, whom thou didst love so dear, so soon forsaken? Young men's love then lies not truly in their hearts, but in their eyes. Jesu Maria, what a deal of brine hath washed thou sallow cheeks for Rosaline! How much salt water thrown away in waste to season love that of it doth not taste! The sun not yet sighs from heaven clears, thy old groans ring yet in mine ancient ears. Lo, here upon thy cheek the stain doth sit of an old tear that is not washed off yet. If e'er thou wast thyself and these woes thine, thou and these woes were all for Rosaline. And art thou changed? Pronounce this sentence then. Women may fall when there's no strength in men.
Okay, very nice. So next up we have Henry, and then Bill, you're on deck after that. So Henry is up, and he will do. Hamlet, oh what a rogue, the Act 2 soliloquy.
Did I do that last week?
I don't think so. I don't think we've done this in a while.
Oh, okay.
Oh what a rogue and peasants. If you did and you want to spin again, we can.
No, that's fine. No, I like it. What's this? 2-2.
Act 2, long scene at the very, very end.
Scene 2. Oh, yes, the very end. Yeah. All right, there we go.
Okay, so whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I! Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul so to his own conceit that from her working all his visage waned, tears in his eyes, distraction in his aspect, a broken voice, and his whole function suiting with forms to his conceit? And all for nothing, for Hecuba. What's Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba, that he should weep for her? What would he do? Had he the motive and the cue for passion that I have? He would drown the stage with tears and cleave the general ear with horrid speech, make mad the guilty and appall the free, confound the ignorant and amaze indeed the very faculties of eyes and ears. Yet I, a dull and muddy mettled rascal, peak like John o' Dreams, I'm pregnant of my cause and can say nothing. No, not for a king upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made. Am I a coward? Who calls me villain, breaks my pate across, plucks off my beard and blows it in my face, tweaks me by the nose, gives me the lie of the throat as deep as to the lungs? Who does this to me, ah? Swoons I should take it, for I cannot be, but I am pigeon-livered and lack gall to make oppression bitter, or ere this I should have fatted all the region kites with this slave's awful, bloody, bawdy villain, remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, kindless villain. Oh, vengeance! Why, what an ass am I! This is most brave, that I, the son of a dear father murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell, must like a whore unpack my heart with words and fall a-cursing like a very drab, a scullion. Fie upon it, foe! About my brain. I have heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have, by the very cunning of the scene, been struck so to the sound that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions. For murder, though it have no tongue, will speak with the most miraculous organ. I'll have those players play something like the murder of my father before mine uncle. I'll observe his looks, I'll tempt him to the quick. If he but blench, I know my course. The spirit I have seen may be the devil, and the devil hath power to assume a pleasing shape. Yea, and perhaps out of my weakness and my melancholy, as he is very potent with such spirits, abuses me to damn me. I'll have grounds more relative than this. The play's the thing, wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king.
Okay, very nice. Up next we have Bill, and then Bill's up, and John is on deck. So Bill is going to perform.
I don't know. After Henry, I don't know.
This is. I think you made a YouTube video doing this one specifically. I'm guessing you're probably off book with this one, so that was a good.
Well, good I'm gonna get it up just for confidence sake here.
So Henry the Fourth, Part 2. Oh boy, I closed it and I didn't get the act and scene number. Better. Do you need that?
Do I need what?
Do you need me to give you the act and scene number?
Well, I've got it already. I'm fine.
Okay, you're good. Okay, so whenever you're ready, go ahead.
how many thousand of my poorest subjects are at this hour asleep? Oh, sleep, gentle sleep, nature's soft nurse, how have I frighted thee that thou no more wilt weigh my eyelids down and steep my senses in forgetfulness? Why rather sleep liest thou in smoky cribs upon uneasy pallets stretching thee, and hushed with buzzing night flies to thy slumber? Then in the perfumed chambers of the great, under the canopies of costly state, and lulled with sound of sweetest melody. O thou dull god, why liest thou with the vile in loathsome beds, and leav'st the kingly couch a watch case or common warren bell? Wilt thou upon the high and giddy mast seal up the ship boy's eyes, and rock his brains and cradle of the rude imperious surge, and in the visitation of the winds who take the ruffian billows by the top, curling their monstrous heads and hanging them with deafening clamor in the slippery clouds that with the hurly death itself awakes? Canst thou, O partial sleep, seal up the ship boy's eyes, give thy repose to the wet sea boy in an hour so rude, and in the calmest, most stillest night, with all the appliances and means to boot, deny it to a king? Then, happy low, lie down. Uneasy lies the head that wears a crown. Scene.
I love that one. It's an underappreciated masterpiece. That one. And the last line, of course, is such a great one-liner as well. Okay, anyway, so John is up and Shelia is on deck. Hello, John.
Hello.
John is going to perform. Was ever woman in this manner rude? Yeah, that was just, I think it was last week or the week before we did the whole scene with him and Lady Anne, and then I realized, we did the scene, but, as far as monologues go, it starts with a great monologue from Anne, and it ends with a great monologue with Richard, so I decided I'd put those both on the wheel. So, was ever a woman...
Okay. So Act 3.
Act 1, Scene 2 of Richard III, Act 1, Scene 2, at the very end.
Okay. Was ever woman in this humor wooed? Was ever woman in this humor won? I'll have her, but I will not keep her long. What? I that killed her husband and his father, to take her in her heart's extremest hate, with curses in her mouth, tears in her eyes, the bleeding witness of her hatred by, having God her conscience and these bars against me, and I, nothing to back my suit at all, but the plain devil and dissembling looks. And yet, to win her, all the world to nothing. Hath she forgot already that brave Prince Edward her lord, whom I some 3 months since stabbed in my angry mood at Tewkesbury? A sweeter and a lovelier gentleman framed in the prodigality of nature, young, valiant, wise, and no doubt right royal. The spacious world cannot again afford, and will not, yet she debase her eyes on me, that cropped the golden prime of this sweet prince, and made her widow to a woeful bed. On me, whose all not equals Edward's mighty, on me that half halt and am unshapen thus, my dukedom to a beggarly denier. Do I mistake my person all this while? Upon my life she finds, though I cannot, myself to be a marvelous proper man. Albeit charges for a looking glass, and entertain some score or two of tailors, to study fashion, to adorn my body. Since I am crept in favor with myself, will maintain it with some little cost. But first, I'll turn you fellow in his grave, and then return lamenting to my love. Shine out, fair sun, till I have bought a glass, that I may see my shadow as I pass. Thank you.
Okay, very nice. So Shelia is up, and then I am on deck. So Shelia and then myself. Shelia is going to perform. Clarence's Dream. One great monologue in which is referred to another great monologue.
You're going to have to tell me a little bit about this.
This is the one. It starts with when the assassins that Richard is sent to have his brother killed while he's in prison. Well, he's in prison because he got his eldest brother to the king to believe that Clarence is plotting against him, so they'll imprison. And the king has just decided, I'll pardon Clarence, and but just
I don't think it goes well, though, does it?
Because Richard has sent the assassins to kill him, and to say that it was on King Edward's orders when it wasn't. And,
so he's having premonitions, I take it.
Yeah, and so the scene starts with him explaining, I had a dream, basically, which of course are premonitions for what's to come.
Now, it looks like he's got a very long speech broken with questions from Brackenbury. Did you want me to carry it down to a certain point?
If you're comfortable skipping the questions and just keeping the monologue continuous, just about it. Act 1, scene 4.
Got it.
What begins. I think it's the top of the scene. I might be wrong. But, so just go ahead whenever you're ready.
Oh, I have passed a miserable night, so full of ugly sights, of ghastly dreams, that as I am a Christian faithful man, I would not spend another such night, though 'twere to buy a world of happy days, so full of dismal terror was the time. Methought that I had broken from the tower, and was embarked to cross Burgundy, and in my company my brother Gloucester, who from my cabin tempted me to walk upon the hatches. Thence we looked toward England, and sighted up 1,000 fearful times during the wars of York and Lancaster that had befallen us. As we paced along upon the giddy footing of the hatches, methought that Gloucester stumbled, and in falling struck me, and thought to stay him overboard into the tumbling billows of the main. Oh, Lord, methought what pain it was to drown, what dreadful noise of waters in mine ears, what ugly sights of death in mine eyes. Methought I saw 1,000 fearful wrecks, 10,000 men that fishes gnawed upon, wedges of gold, great anchors, heaps of pearl, inestimable stones, unvalued jewels, all scattered in the bottom of the sea. Some lay in dead men's skulls. And in those holes where our eyes did once inhabit, there were crept, as 'twere in scorn of eyes, reflecting gems, which wooed the slimy bottom of the deep and mocked the dead bones that lay scattered by. Oh, methought I had, and often did I strive to yield the ghost, but still the envious flood kept in my soul, and would not let it forth to seek the empty, vast, and wandering air, but smothered it within my panting bulk, which almost burst to belch it in the sea. Oh, no, my dream was lengthened afterlife. Oh, then began the tempest to my soul, who passed, methought, the melancholy flood with that grim ferryman, which poets write of, unto the kingdom of perpetual night. The first that there did greet my stranger soul was my great father-in-law, renowned Warwick, who cried aloud, "What scourge for perjury can this dark monarchy afford, false Clarence?" And so he vanished. Then came wandering by a shadow like an angel with bright hair dabbled in blood, and he squeaked out aloud, "Clarence is come. False, fleeting, perjured Clarence that stabbed me in the field of Tewkesbury. Seize on him, Furies, take him to your torments." With that, methought a legend of foul fiends environed me about and howled in mine ears such hideous cries that with the very noise I trembled, waked, and for a second after could not believe that I was in hell. Such terrible impression made the dream. Oh, Brackenbury, I have done those things which now bear evidence against my soul, for Edward's sake, and see how he requites me. Oh, God, if my deep prayers cannot appease thee, but thou wilt be avenged on my misdeeds, yet execute thy wrath in me alone. Oh, spare my guiltless wife and my poor children, I pray thee, gentle keeper. Stay by me, my soul is heavy, and I fain would sleep.
That's awesome. Yeah, I saw the comments. Bill couldn't believe that this was a cold reading on your part, because that was awesome.
I'll tell you that I feel like I'm going down a hill without brakes, but the language is right there. So I follow it, and there you go.
That's so true. I mean, that's what I was saying, that the idea with, that's kind of what gave me the idea for the Wheel of Shakespeare Challenge in the first place. The idea that you figure, oh, nobody could possibly give good performances when it's completely cold. But the nature of the language, what's so great about Shakespeare is that he takes you where you need to go as an actor, just with his own language, and you just illustrated that very well.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so it is my turn, and then Alex is on deck, and then Ted. So Alex is up next, but first myself, and I am going to perform. Oh boy, wild card. I was not prepared for this. What am I going to do? How about, do let's go with Hamlet's the Act 4 monologue, the one that, of the others that are There's all those soliloquies in Hamlet that are done to death, but often forget about the Act 4 one. I'll do that monologue. Second to find it. Okay, here we go. How all occasions do inform against me and spur my dull revenge. What is a man, if his chief good and market of his time be but to keep and feed? A beast no more. Sure, he that made us with such large discourse, looking before and after, gave us not that capability and godlike reason to fuss in us unused. Now, whether it be bestial oblivion or some craven scruple of thinking too precisely on the event, a thought which courted hath but one part wisdom and ever 3 parts coward, I do not know why yet I live to say the things to do. Still, I have cause and will and strength and means to do it. Examples gross as earth exhort me. Within this army of such mass and charge, led by a delicate and tender prince, whose spirit with divine ambition puffed makes mouths at the invisible event, exposing what is mortal and unsure to all that fortune, death, and danger dare, even for an eggshell. Rightly to be great is not to stir without great argument, but greatly to find quarrel in a straw when honor's at the stake. How stand I then, that have a father killed, a mother stained, excitements of my reason and my blood, and let all sleep? While to my shame I see the imminent death of 20,000 men that for a fantasy and trick of fame go to their graves like beds, fight for a plot wherein the numbers cannot try the cause, which is not tomb enough and continent to hide the slain. Oh, from this time forth, my thoughts be bloody, or be nothing worth. Okay. Alex is up.
Hi.
Alex, who we haven't seen for several weeks, and we're really glad to have him back. Let's see what he's going to do to welcome him back to the group. So Alex is going to perform Buckingham. Oh yeah, this is Buckingham being led to his execution. It's almost almost the entire scene is him, but the sheriff who's leading him to his execution says a couple lines. Just do the whole thing continuously and just skip the sheriff's line. So Act 5,
right.
Scene 1, you can go as if the sheriff's not there.
Okay.
Give me a second. To create the banner, and then you can start.
All right.
Okay, so whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Will not King Richard let me speak with him? Hastings and Edward's children, Rivers, Grey, Holy King Henry, and thy fair son Edward, Vaughan, and all that have miscarried, by underhand corrupted full justice. If that your moody, discontented souls do doth the clouds behold this present hour, even for revenge mock my destruction. This is All Souls' Day, fellows, is it not? Why then All Souls' Day is my body's doomsday? This is the day that, in King Edward's time, I wished might fall on me, when I was found false to his children or his wife's allies. This is the day wherein I wish to fall by the false faith of him I trusted most. This All Souls' Day to my fearful soul is the determined respite of my wrongs. That high all-seer that I dallied with had turned my faint prayer on my head, and given in earnest what I begged in jest. Thus doth he force the swords of wicked men to turn their own points on their masters' bosoms. Now Margaret's curse is fallen upon my head, when he, quoth she, shall split thy heart with sorrow. Remember, Margaret was a prophetess. Come, sirs, convey me to the block of shame. Wrong head but wrong, and blame the due of blame.
Okay, awesome. So our last monologue before we move on to scenes will be done by Ted. So, and Ted is going to perform. Antigonus. I think this is one that I added it after Eager Beaver Shakespeare did Winter's Tale, and I realized this is a good one. This is where he's leaving the baby Perdita as per the orders of Leontes, but he's leaving it hoping it'll be saved rather than leaving it to be killed as he was ordered to set in motion. So Antigonus in Winter's Tale. The one I think what's probably most famous for what this is most famous for is that it's ended in the most famous stage direction in all of theater before he exits Pursued by
the Bear. Yeah.
I think there's even a recent play out that's the title of the play because it's the most ridiculous ever included. So this is basically when he leaves the baby before he exits Pursued by a Bear. Antigonus. Come Poor Babe, Winter's Tale, Act 3, Scene 3. So have you found that? You ready to go with it?
Yes. Can you hear my audio?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. So whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Come, poor babe. I have heard but not believed the spirits of the dead may walk again. If such thing be, thy mother appeared to me last night, for ne'er was dream so like a waking. To me comes a creature, sometimes her head on one side, some another. I never saw a vessel of like sorrow, so filled and so becoming in pure white robes. Like very sanctity, she did approach my cabin where I lay. Thrice bowed before me, and gasping to begin some speech, her eyes became two spouts. The fury spent, anon did this break from her. Good Antigonus, since fate against thy better disposition hath made thy person for the thrower out of my poor babe, according to thine oath, places remote enough are in Bohemia. There weep and leave it crying, and for the babe is counted lost forever. Perdita, I prithee call it, for this ungentle business put on thee by my lord. Thou ne'er shalt see thy wife Paulina more. And so with shrieks she melted into air. Affrighted much, I did in time collect myself and thought, this was so and no slumber. Dreams are toys, yet for this once, yea, superstitiously, I will be squared by this. I do believe Hermione hath suffered death, and that Apollo would, this being indeed the issue of King Polixenes, it should be here laid, either for life or death, upon the earth of its right father. Blossom, speed thee well. There lie, and there thy character. There these, which may, if fortune please, both breed thee pretty, and still rest thine. The storms begin, poor wretch, that for thy mother's fault thou art thus exposed to loss, and what may follow. Weep I cannot, but my heart bleeds, and most accursed am I to be my oath enjoined to this. Farewell. The day frowns more and more. Thou art like to have a lullaby too rough. I never saw the heavens so dim by. A savage clamor. Well, may I get aboard? This is the chase. I am gone forever.
Exit pursued by bear. Okay, so that wraps up our monologues. We'll now move on to our short scenes. Let's see, we need to create roles for 8 people. So let's see how many scenes we need for that. So here is the wheel of scenes. So we will do the Tempest 2.1, Sebastian and Antonio. I believe that's the one where Antonio tries to, he tells Sebastian how I exiled my brother, and your brother, the king, is asleep. Let's kill him. It's in the middle of the scene. So Tempest 2.1, Sebastian and Antonio. Othello. This is we broke this into. There's Othello and Iago have a bit where he starts to increase his jealousy, and then he goes and speaks to Desdemona about the handkerchief, and then Iago returns, and Othello blows up even further. So we broke it into. This is the second part. This is the part after he's already talked to Othello and Iago. Twelfth Night, Olivia and Viola. I believe this is when they first meet, when Viola is delivering a message from her boss, and Olivia falls in love with her. So one more scene to get all 8 of us. As You Like It, Celia and Rosaline. Act 3, Scene 2. Can't quite recall what's going on in that scene, but so the 8 roles we have to cast are Sebastian and Antonio in The Tempest, Othello and Iago in part 2 of their confrontation in Act 3, Olivia and Viola in Twelfth Night, Act 1, Scene 5, and Celia and Rosalind in Act 3, Scene 2 of As You Like It. So the order of, let's see who will choose first. Okay, so the first choice among those roles will be made by I get first choice. I'll be Antonio in The Tempest. The next choice will be made by John. What would you like?
Iago.
Iago. Iago. Ed, what would you like?
I'll take the scene in the Tempest, whatever part was available.
Okay, so it'll be you and me doing that scene. Ted and Mark will be Sebastian and Antonio. Okay. Celia, what would you like?
I'll do Celia in As You Like It.
Celia will be Celia. Choosing the rhyme. Okay, Bill, what would you like?
Othello, please.
Okay. So what we have left is we have Olivia, Viola, and Rosalind. Maggie, what would you like?
I think I'll take Viola.
Viola.
Do you know if this ends with her with the ring thing or not?
I don't think so. I think it leads to the next scene where Olivia sends her with the ring to Malvolio.
Yes, I remember now.
And then when she says, "Why did she send the ring to me?" after Malvolio brings it to her at
right. Okay.
I think the scene ends with Olivia resolving to give Malvolio the ring to take to Viola.
Okay.
Okay, so Henry and Alex. What's left is we have Olivia and Rosalind. And Henry gets to choose between those. Henry, you want to be Olivia or Rosalind?
I want to be unmuted. Olivia, please.
Olivia. So Henry will be Olivia. And then so that leaves Alex to be Rosalind in there. So we're going to do first Tempest, Act 2, Scene 1. Myself and Ted is Sebastian and Antonio. Then we'll do Othello, Act 3, Scene 3. I believe it's from the, why did you tell me this? Now I've got more jealous. The second confrontation with Othello and Iago. Then we have Henry and Maggie doing Olivia and Viola and Twelfth Night. Then we'll finish up with Celia and Alex doing Celia and Rosalind and As You Like It, Act 3, Scene 2. So that gives you a chance to find the scene while we're doing. So I got a banner and yes, Ted.
Which part am I in Tempest here?
Sebastian.
And where does it start?
Yeah, I know it's in the middle of the scene, so we got to figure that out. Let's see. Act 2, Scene 1. I think it's like right after everybody with those two go to sleep, and then they start plotting to why don't we kill Alonso, the king of Naples.
Do you know? Does it start with your line? Oh, if you but knew how you the purpose cherish.
See, I'm looking for that.
It's hard to find here.
Yeah, I know. We spun one that's a little bit difficult to find the starting place on. That's one of the unfortunate bits of the randomness of you don't know what's going to come up, and sometimes what comes up is something that's hard to find the starting point.
Is it after Alonso sleeps and exit Ariel?
Yeah, that should be it. Oh, yeah, there we go.
With-
Yeah, Alonso sleeps, exit area, and then now Sebastian and Antonio are the only two that are awake, and so we start plotting. And then then Ariel re-enters to wake everybody up to thwart the plans that we just came up with. That's the basis of the scene for people watching. So let's see. Sebastian starts with what a strange drowsiness. Yeah. So, yes.
Okay, got it.
So you start us off with that whenever you're ready.
What a strange drowsiness possesses them.
It is the quality of the climate.
Why doth it not then our eyelids sink? I find not myself disposed to sleep.
Nor I. My spirits are nimble. They fell together all as by consent. They dropped as by a thunderstroke. What might, worthy Sebastian? Oh, what might? No more, and yet methinks I see it in thy face, what thou shouldst be. The occasion speaks thee, and my strong imagination sees a crown dropping upon thy head.
What, art thou waking?
Do you not hear me speak?
I do, and surely it is a sleepy language, and thou speakst out of thy sleep. What is it thou didst say? This is a strange repose, to be asleep with eyes wide open, standing, speaking, moving, and yet so fast asleep.
Noble Sebastian, thou lett'st thy fortune sleep. Die, rather. Wink'st whilst thou art waking.
Thou dost snore distinctly. There's meaning in thy snores.
I am more serious than my custom. You must be so too, if heed me. Which to do trebles the oar.
Well, I am standing water.
I'll teach you how to flow.
Do so. To ebb hereditary sloth instructs me.
Oh, if you but knew how the purpose cherish, whilst thus you mock it, how in stripping it, you more invest it. Ebbing men indeed most often do so near the bottom run by their own fear or sloth.
Oh, prithee, say on. The setting of thine eye and cheek proclaim a matter from thee, and a birth indeed which throws thee much to shield.
Thus, sir, although this lord of weak remembrance, this who shall be of as little memory when he is earthed, hath here almost persuade, for he is a spirit of persuasion, only professes to persuade. The king his son's alive. 'Tis impossible that he's undrowned, and he that sleeps here swims.
I have no hope that he's undrowned.
Oh, out of that no hope, what great hope have you? No hope that way is another way, so high a hope that even ambition cannot pierce a wink beyond, but doubt discovery there. Will you grant me that Ferdinand is drowned?
He's gone.
Then tell me, who's the next heir of Naples?
Clarabelle.
She that is queen of Tunis. She that dwells 10 leagues beyond men's lives. She that from Naples can have no note unless the sun were post. The man in the moon's too slow till newborn chins be rough and razorable. She that from whom? We all were sea swallowed, though some cast again, and by that destiny to perform an act whereof what's past is prologue. What to come in yours and my discharge?
What stuff is this? How say you? 'Tis true, my brother's daughter's queen of Tunis. So is she heir of Naples. 'Twixt regions there is some space.
A space whose every cubit seems to cry out, how shall that Clarabelle measure us back to Naples? Keep in Tunis and let Sebastian wake. Say this were death that now hath seized them. Why, they were no worse than now they are. There be that can rule Naples as well as he that sleeps, lords that can prate as amply and unnecessarily as this Gonzalo. I myself could make a cough of as deep chat. Oh, that you bore the mind that I do. What a sleep were this for your advancement. Do you understand me?
Methinks I do.
And how does your content tender your own good fortune?
I remember you did supplant your brother Prospero.
True. And look how well my garments sit upon me. Much feeter than before. My brother's servants were then my fellows. Now they are my men.
But for your conscience?
Ay, sir, where lies that? If 'twere a kye, 'twould put me to my slipper. But I feel not this deity in my bosom. 20 consciences that stand twixt me and Millen, candied be they, and melt ere they molest. Here lies your brother, no better than the earth he lies upon. If he were that which now he's like, that's dead, whom I, with this obedient steel, 3 inches of it, can lay to bed forever. Whiles you doing thus, to the perpetual wink, for I might put this ancient morsel, this Sir Prudence, who should not upbraid our course. For all the rest, they'll take suggestion as a cat laps milk. They'll tell the clock to any business that we say befits the hour.
Thy case, dear friend, shall be my precedent. As thou gott'st Milan, I'll come by Naples. Draw thy sword. One stroke shall free thee from the tribute which thou payest, and I, the king, shall love thee.
Draw together, and where I rear my hand, do you the like, to fall it on Gonzalo.
Oh, but one word.
Okay, so now, and then Ariel enters to thwart our plans by waking everybody up, and scene. Okay, that was great. That's one we haven't done before, and a lot of fun. So next up, we have the Othello scene. Bill and John are going to do that one. Bill and John. That's another one that's it's a hard starting point. Were you able? Have you both found what line?
Well, I'm in the scene. I don't know. Where do we begin and where do we end?
Well, I think isn't it where where Othello see Desdemona and Amelia depart, and Othello says, "Excellent wretch." Isn't that where that begins? He started talking to himself, and then Iago comes in. Is that correct? It's about halfway down, maybe.
Wretch. That sounds familiar for where this one starts.
It's about a third of the way down the page.
You have a description that we're supposed to start where Iago leaves and then comes back, and I don't find that.
So he had left, and then there was Othello and Desdemona talking about re-enter Iago. That's Amelia. Hold on, I'll find.
It's everybody's gone.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So Iago, so Amelia exits, and then I will in Cassio's lodging lose this napkin, and then Othello re-enters, and then Othello, false to me. That's what I was thinking. We can start with as soon as Amelia exits, and Iago does a short talking to himself. I will in Cassio's lodging lose this napkin and let him find it. Let's start from there.
Okay, now I don't know where we are now. I thought it was down further where they have a long exchange together.
Yeah, they're gonna. Or we can start from Avant be gone. Thou hast set me on the
Okay, all right. I have no idea where that is. So where is that then? I was all prepared for the other one. I don't understand. Okay, where is it, please? Are we on Act 3, Scene 3?
Yes.
Okay.
Starting with Amelia's exit.
Yeah, have you found that, Bill?
I found that, yeah.
So whereabouts is that one? Is
About
that near the beginning?
Three quarters of the way down, John.
Yeah, let's take it from I will in Cassio's lodging lose this napkin, and then I'll start with just John in the scene. John, John is Iago, and then I'll add Bill when it says re-enter Othello. Do you want to now?
I have no idea where it is. I can't find it.
How about you can look for it while we do that. We'll just go.
Okay, what am I looking for then, please?
I will in Cassio's lodging lose this napkin.
Or just look for exit Amelia.
Okay, I have it. Here it is.
Oh, you got it. Okay, great. So so you're both ready to go then?
Well, how far are we going?
I believe it's just the two of them till the end of the scene.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And so that's
John.
Okay. So whenever.
Right. Okay. I will, in Cassio's lodging, lose this napkin, and let him find it. Trifles light as air are to the jealous and confirmation strong as proofs of Lady Holy Writ. This may do something. The more already changes with my poison, dangerous conceits are in their natures poisons, which at the first are scarce found to distaste, but with a little act upon the blood burn like the mines of sulfur. I did say so. Look where he comes. Not poppy, not mandragora, nor all the drowsy syrups of the world shall ever medicine thee to that sweet sleep which thou odest yesterday.
False to me?
Why, how now, General? No more of that.
Avaunt, begone. Thou hast set me on the rack. I swear 'tis better to be much abused than but to know a little.
How now, my lord?
What sense had I of her stolen hours of lust? I saw it not, thought it not, it harmed not me. I slept the next night well and was free and merry. I found not Cassio's kisses on her lips. He that is robbed, not wanting what is stolen, let him not know it, and he's not robbed at all.
I am sorry to hear this.
I had been happy if the general camp, pioneers and all, had tasted her sweet body, so I had nothing known. Oh, now, forever. Farewell, the tranquil mind. Farewell, content. Farewell, the plumaged troop and the big wars that make ambition virtue. Oh, farewell. Farewell, the neighing steed and the shrill trump, the spirit-stirring drum, the ear-piercing fife, the royal banner, and all quality, pride, pomp, and circumstance of glorious war. And oh, you mortal engines, whose rude throats the immortal Jove's dread clamors counterfeit, farewell. Othello's occupation's gone.
It's possible, my lord.
Villain, be sure thou prove my love a whore. Be sure of it. Give me ocular proof, or by the worth of man's eternal soul, thou hast been better have been born a dog than answer my waked wrath.
It's come to this.
Make me to see it, or at the least so prove it that the probation bear no hinge nor loop to hang a doubt on, or woe upon thy life.
My noble lord.
If thou dost slander her and torture me, never pray more. Abandon all remorse. On horror's head horrors accumulate. Do deeds to make heaven weep, all earth amazed, for nothing canst thou to damnation add greater than that.
Oh, grace. Oh, heaven forgive me. Are you a man? Have you a soul or sense? God be with you. Take mine offense, O wretched fool. Thou livest to make thy honesty a vice. O monstrous world, take note, O world, to be direct and honest is not safe. I thank you for this profit, and from hence I'll love no friend, sith love breeds such offense.
Nay, stay. Thou shouldst be honest.
I should be wise, for honesty's a fool and loses that it works for.
By the world, I think my wife be honest, and think she is not. I think that thou art just, and think thou art not. I'll have some proof. Her name, that was as fresh as Dian's visage, is now begrimed and black as my own face. If there be cords, or knives, Poison, or fire, or suffocating streams, I'll not endure it. Would I were satisfied.
I see, sir, you are eaten up with passion. I do repent me that I put it to you. You would be satisfied?
Would? Nay, I will.
And may. But how? How satisfied, my lord? Would you, the supervisor, grossly gape on behold her topped?
Oh, death and damnation. Oh.
It were a tedious difficulty, I think, to bring them to that prospect. Damn them then, if ever mortal eyes do see them bolster more for than their own. What then? How then? What shall I say? Where's satisfaction? It is impossible you should see this. Were they as prime as goats, as hot as monkeys, as salt as wolves in pride, and fools as gross as ignorance made drunk? But yet I say, the imputation and strong circumstances which lead directly to the door of truth will give you satisfaction. You may have it.
Give me a living reason she's disloyal.
I do not like the office. But sith I am entered in this cause so far, pricked to it by foolish honesty and love, I will go on. I lay with Cassio lately, and being troubled with a raging tooth, I could not sleep. There are a kind of men so loose of soul that in their sleeps will mutter their affairs. One of this kind is Cassio. In sleep I heard him say, "Sweet Desdemona, let us be wary, let us hide our loves." And then, sir, would he gripe and wring my hand, cry, "Oh, sweet creature," and then kiss me hard, as if he plucked up kisses by the roots that grew upon my lips. Then laid his leg over my thigh and sighed and kissed, and then cried, "Cursed fate that give thee to the moor."
Monstrous, monstrous.
Nay, this was but a dream.
But this denoted a foregone conclusion. 'Tis a shrewd doubt, though it be but a dream.
And this may help to thicken other proofs that do demonstrate thinly.
I'll tear her all to pieces.
Nay, but be wise. Yet we see nothing done. She may be honest yet. Tell me but this. Have you sometimes seen a handkerchief spotted with strawberries in your wife's hand?
I gave her such a one. 'Twas my first gift.
No, I know not that. But such a handkerchief, I'm sure it was your wife's. Did I today see Cassio wipe his beard with?
If it be that?
If it be that, or any that was hers, it speaks against her with other proofs.
Oh, that the slave had 40,000 lives. One is too poor, too weak for my revenge. Now do I see 'tis true. Look here, Iago. All my fond love, thus do I blow to heaven. 'Tis gone. Arise, black vengeance, from thy hollow cell. Yield up, O love, thy crown and hearted throne to tyrannous hate. Swell bosom with thy fraught, for 'tis of aspics' tongues.
Yet be content.
Oh, Lord, blood, blood.
Patience, I say. Your mind perhaps may change.
Never, Iago. Like to the Pontic Sea, whose icy current and compulsive course ne'er feels retiring ebb, but keeps due on to the Propontic and the Hellespont. Even so, my bloody thoughts with violent pace shall ne'er look back, ne'er ebb to humble love, till that a capable and wise revenge swallow them up. Now, by yond marble heaven, in the due reverence of a sacred vow, I here engage my words.
Do not rise yet. Witness, you ever-burning lights above, you elements that clip us round about. Witness that here Iago doth give up the execution of his wit, hand's heart to wronged Othello's service, let him command, and to obey shall be in me remorse, what bloody business ever.
I greet thy love, not with thanks, but with acceptance bounteous, and will upon the instant put thee to it. Within these 3 days let me hear thee say that Cassio's not alive.
My friend is dead. 'Tis then at your request, but let her live.
Damn her, lewd minx. Oh, damn her. Come, go with me apart. I will withdraw to furnish me with some swift means of death for the fair devil. Now art thou my lieutenant.
I am your own forever.
Okay, awesome. Took us a while to figure out where to start from, but once we got going, a great scene. Okay, we're now with, let's see, Henry and Maggie are going to be, now I had an idea where we would start this. I just thought the honorable lady of the house, which is she, and then Maria does come in, but you can kind of ignore her.
Yeah.
But I saw you guys were texting, you were messaging each other. You kind of figured out where to start from. So that's a good advice to everybody watching. You know, like unless you're going first, you know, if your scene comes later, it helps to use the private chat to talk with each other and kind of be deciding where you're going to start. So you guys have decided where to start.
Well, we didn't decide where to start. We just decided to skim over Mariah. But you said to start with enter Viola in attendance.
Yeah, I thought the honorable lady of the house, which and then Olivia answers her also. That works. So yeah, right. and then we would take it up from the point where Olivia calls for Malvolio to bring the ring.
Right.
So I thought I might. I wouldn't mind just doing the end of that. Actually, just it completes the emotional arc. I'll just leave Malvolio out, or say something.
If that works for you, that okay. So
well, I don't know whether it'll work, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, can't hurt to try. Okay, so whenever you're ready, go ahead and start us off.
Okay. The honorable lady of the house, which is she?
Speak to me. I shall answer for her. Your will?
Most radiant, exquisite, and unmatchable beauty, I pray you, tell me if this be the lady of the house, for I never saw her. I would be loath to cast away my speech, for besides that it is excellently well penned, I have taken great pains to con it. Good beauties, let me sustain no scorn. I am very comfortable, even to the least signature usage.
Whence came you, sir?
I can say little more than I have studied, and that question's out of my part. Good gentle one, give me modest assurance if you be the lady of the house, that I may proceed in my speech.
Are you a comedian?
No, my profound heart. And yet, by the very fangs of malice, I swear I am not that I play. Are you the lady of the house?
If I do not usurp myself, I am.
Most certain, if you are she, you do usurp yourself. For what is yours to bestow is not yours to reserve. But this is from my commission. I will on with my speech in your praise, and then show you the heart of my message.
Come to what is important in it. I forgive you the praise.
Alas, I took great pains to study it, and 'tis poetical.
It is the more like to be feigned. I pray you keep it in. I heard you were saucy at my gates, and allowed your approach rather to wonder at you than to hear you. If you be not mad, be gone. If you have reason, be brief. 'Tis not that time of moon with me to make one in so skipping a dialogue.
Tell me your mind. I am a messenger.
Sure, you have some hideous matter to deliver when the courtesy of it is so fearful. Speak your office.
It alone concerns your ear. I bring no overture of war, no taxation of homage. I hold the olive in my hand. My words are as fun of peace as matter.
Yet you bring in rudely. What are you? What would you?
The rudeness that hath appeared in me have I learned from my entertainment. What I am and what I would are as secret as maidenhead. To your ears, divinity. To another's, profanation.
Give us this place alone, we will hear this divinity. Now, sir, what is your text?
Most sweet lady.
A comfortable doctrine, and may be said of it. Where lies your text?
In Orsino's bosom.
In his bosom. In what chapter of his bosom?
To answer by the method, in the first of his heart.
Oh, I have read it. It is heresy. Have you no more to say?
Good madam, let me see your face.
Have you any commission from your lord to negotiate with my face? You are now out of your text. But we will draw the curtain and show you the picture. Look you, sir, such a one I was this present. It's not well done.
Excellently done, if God did all.
'Tis in grain, sir. 'Twill endure wind and weather.
'Tis beauty truly bent, whose red and white nature's own sweet and cunning hand laid on. Lady, you are the cruelest she alive, if you will lead these graces to the grave and leave the world no copy.
Oh, sir, I will be not so hard-hearted. I will give out diverse schedules of my beauty. It shall be inventoried, and every particle and utensil labelled to my will, as item 2 lips indifferent red, item 2 grey eyes with lids to them, item 1 neck, 1 chin, and so forth. Were you sent hither to praise me?
I see what you are. You are too proud. But if you were the devil, you are fair. My lord and master loves you. Oh, such love could be but recompense, though you were crowned the nonpareil of beauty.
How does he love me?
With adorations, fertile tears, with groans that thunder love, with sighs of fire.
Your lord does know my mind. I cannot love him. Yet I suppose him virtuous, know him noble, of great estate, of fresh and stainless youth, in voices well divulged, free, learned and valiant, and in dimension and the shape of nature a gracious person. But yet I cannot love him. He might have took his answer long ago.
If I did love you in my master's flame, with such a suffering, such a deadly life, in your denial I would find no sense. I would not understand it.
Why? What would you?
Make me a willow cabin at your gate, and call upon my soul within the house. Write loyal cantons of contemned love, and sing them loud, even in the dead of night. Halloo your name to the reverberate hills, and make the babbling gossip of the air cry out, Olivia! Oh, you should not rest between the elements of air and earth, but you should pity me.
You might do much. What is your parentage?
Above my fortunes, yet my state is well. I am a gentleman.
Get you to your lord. I cannot love him. Let him send no more, unless, perchance, you come to me again to tell me how he takes it. Fare you well. I thank you for your pains. Spend this for me.
I am no feed post, lady. Keep your purse. My master, not myself, lacks recompense. Love make his heart of flint that you shall love, and let your fervor, like my master's, be placed in contempt. Farewell, fair cruelty.
What is your parentage? Above my fortunes, yet the state is well. I am a gentleman. I'll be sworn thou art. Thy tongue, thy face, thy limbs, actions, and spirit do give thee fivefold blazon. Oh, not so fast. Soft, soft, lest the master were the man. How now? Even so quickly one may catch the plague. Methinks I feel this youth's perfections with an invisible and subtle stealth to creep in at mine eyes. Well, let it be. What hold, Malvolio? Run after that same peevish messenger, the county's man. He left his ring behind him. Would I or not tell him I'll none of it. Desire him not to flatter with his fraud, nor hold up with his hopes. I am not for him. If that the youth will come this way tomorrow, I'll give him reasons for it. Hide thee, Malvolio. Oh, I do not know. Not what? And fear to find mine eye too great a flatterer for my mind. Fate, show thy force. Ourselves we do not owe. What is decreed must be. And be this so.
Okay, awesome. So our last scene, we have Shelia and Alex doing Rosalind and Celia, did you both agree on what the places that you're going to start with? Mm-hmm. And before you start, one thing I wanted to say, this is the last scene, then we're going to wrap up. In terms of if you have announcements of anything coming up, since I can't get everybody in the stream at once, if while we're doing the final scene, send me something in a private chat letting me know that you have an announcement to make, so I know to add you before we sign off. So that said, we'll go ahead and do Celia and Rosalind.
Peace, here comes my sister, reading. Stand aside.
Rosalind, didst thou hear these verses?
Oh, wait.
Yes, drop down below the long poem.
I don't find it.
Go below the long poem, then there's Rosalind, Celia, Touchstone, Celia.
What's my first line?
Oh, yes, I heard them all.
Oh, yes, I heard them all. And more, too. For some of them, hitting them more feet than the verses would bear.
That's no matter. The feet might bear the verses.
Hey, but the feet were lame and could not bear themselves without the verb, and therefore stood lamely in the verse.
But didst thou hear without wondering how thy name should be hanged and carved upon these trees?
I was 7 of the 9 days out of the wonder before you came. For look here, what I found on a palm tree. I was never so berhymed since Pythagoras' time, and I was an Irish rat, which I can hardly remember.
Trow you who hath done this?
Is it a man?
And a chain that you once wore about his neck. Change your color?
Pretty. Who?
Oh, Lord, it is a hard matter for friends to meet, but mountains may be removed with earthquakes and so encounter.
Nay, but who is it?
Is it possible?
Nay, I prithee now with most petitionary vehemence. Tell me who it is.
Wonderful, and most wonderful, and yet again, wonderful, and after that, out of all hooping.
Good my complexion, Dost thou think, though I am caparisoned like a man, I have a doublet and a hose in my disposition? 1 inch of delay more is a south sea of discovery. I prithee, tell me who it is quickly, and speak a piece. I would thou couldst stammer, that thou mightst pour this concealed man out of my mouth, as wine comes out of a narrow-mouthed bottle, either too much at once, or none at all. I prithee, take the cork out of thy mouth, and may drink by thy tidings.
So you may put a man in your belly?
Is he of God's making? What manner of man? Is his head worth a hat, or his chin worth a beard?
Nay, he hath but a little beard.
Why, God will send more, if the man will be thankful. Let me stay the growth of his beard, if thou delay me not the knowledge of his chin.
It is young Orlando that tripped up the wrestler's heels and your heart, both in an instant.
Nay, but the devil take mocking. Speak, sad brow and true mate.
In faith caused his he.
Orlando?
Orlando!
Alas, the day! What shall I do with my doublet and hose? What did he when thou sawest him? What said he? How looked he? Wherein went he? What makes him here? Did he ask for me? Where remains he? How parted he with thee? And when shalt thou see him again? Answer me in 1 word.
You must borrow me Gargantua's mouth first. 'Tis a word too great for any mouth of this age's size. To say A and no to these particulars is more than to answer in a catechism.
But doth he know that I am in this forest and in men's apparel? Looks he as freshly as he did in the day he wrestled?
It is as easy to count atomies as to resolve the propositions of a lover, but take a taste of my finding him and relish it with good observance. I found him under a tree, like a dropped acorn.
It may well be called Jove's tree when it drops forth such fruit.
Give me audience, good madam.
Proceed.
There lay he, stretched along like a wounded knight.
Thought it be pity to see such a sight, it well becomes the ground.
Oh, cry hallowed to thy tongue, I prithee. It curbeth unseasonably. He was furnished like a hunter.
Oh, ominous! He comes to kill my heart.
I would sing my song without a burden. Thou bringest me out of tune.
Do you not know I am a woman? When I think, I must speak. Sweet, say on.
You bring me out. Oh, soft. Comes he not here?
'Tis he. Slink by and note him.
Hey, awesome. I saw nobody messaged me about having something that they wanted to announce. Although the two of you, of course, if you were busy, so if do either of you have anything you'd wanted to announce?
No, just glad to have Alex back. Yay!
Yeah, glad to have you back too. I was gonna. I know tomorrow Vincent is doing another full-length reading. You're not doing that. I know Sheila sometimes does that. I found out about that kind of late, so I don't. He although he just messaged me saying, "Am I available?" I'm probably too late. I just saw his message, so I may or may not do that. Cymbeline tomorrow, and then he's doing Macbeth in a couple weeks. The other thing I wanted to announce to everybody before we finish is I talked about it with this group before about how I know Sheila has done a lot of these with full-length readings. You know, we could do full-length readings of Shakespeare plays, but I figure Vincent's already got that covered. I was talking about other classics that are in the public domain. And just an idea, I like to, on this YouTube channel, I like to post stuff that is topically relevant to what holiday or what time of year it is. And I was thinking maybe for Labor Day, something with a connection to the working man and so forth. And what immediately popped into my mind is something that's just in the public domain. I'm thinking of Elmer Rice's classic, The Adding Machine, about the guy. in many cases, you say it's well ahead of its time. A guy who's put out of work by a calculator. We're talking almost 100 years before we had these things and the gazillion things of technology that people say cost them their job. But the idea of the dehumanizing, he's just a number, he's Mr. Zero, and the other people are Mr. One, Mr. Two, Mr. Three. I read that. I'm thinking that, and also in terms of would it work on StreamYard instead of Zoom? It looks like with a little editing, I could get it to where there's maximum of 2 people on screen at a time, and I can control it. So that's an idea I have. I'm thinking it might be a little bit late, a week from Monday, to get people ready for that. If people were interested, if I can't, I think I'd still like to do that. And if not, what I do is I would make a short video. Available that put it out on Labor Day, announcing my intention to cast people. So if there's anybody here, the people that have participated, like Sheila has done the full-length readings with Vincent, and she's also done some of her own, message me if you might be interested in collaborating with me on that, because that's definitely my plan right now in terms of a full-length thing, to do a live stream, to do a full-length play reading. I think Elma Rice's Adding Machine would be great, and I don't know, but I'm going to aim to do it Labor Day weekend because of the connection to the working man and jobs and so forth. It would be topically relevant to the holiday. So that's my thought. If you would like to participate in that, message me either here or privately, and we will see you guys next week for Wheel of Shakespeare. Same Bard time, same Bard channel. See you guys then. Bye now.